You said you're famous. Who are you?
I'm Offset Migos.
Who's that?
I'm not giving you my ID.
You did the box, right?
Fuck you.
No video funny. Yeah. This is the last show. Hey, this is the 8th show.
How do you think Drake did hosting the ESPYs last night?
I don't like Drake. I think he's an actor. He's not a real rapper.
This is what happens when rappers don't get recognized in public. Drake is one of the most streamed artists in history. A man whose face is on every meme, every playlist, every award show stage on the planet. A net worth that crossed $250 million. He's arguably the most recognizable rapper alive. And yet, one Oklahoma City basketball game was all it took to remind him that fame has limits. It was a regular night at an OKC Thunder game. Drake was courtside. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a fellow Canadian, was on the court, and Drake came to show love. What Drake didn't expect was who he'd be sitting next to. Jim and Renee Stanley, an older couple from Oklahoma, settled in right beside him. No buffer zone, no security wall, just Drake. And two people who had somewhere more important to be mentally: the game. The local news picked up the story afterward, and what reporters uncovered about what actually went down between the three of them is what made this moment legendary. While the rest of the arena knew exactly who Drake was, Jim and Renee had not the faintest idea. They did what any warm couple would do: struck up a conversation about hockey, about Canada, about family. Drake, one of the world's most famous musicians, just sat there and rolled with every single word of it. And then came the selfie moment. Except this time, it wasn't the fans who asked.
And Jim and Renee Stanley have family there. Yes, Drake was courtside at the Thunder game to support Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's also from Canada. And the Stanleys say they did not know that they were sitting next to one of the world's most famous musicians.
Drake asked them for the selfie, and Renee had the confidence to suggest the caption. Something Drake loved so much, he put it on his own social media. And when he did, the internet nearly collapsed from the shock alone.
At one point, it was Drake who asked to take a selfie with them, and it was Renee who says she suggested to say, "Call us your new parents."
And the way Renee even found out it went viral, she wasn't even looking for it.
Well, that's when our phones started going off because people are going, "What is that?"
My grandson goes to OU. He follows Drake on Twitter. All of a sudden, he sees his grandparents.
The internet celebrated. Renee became a folk hero. And Drake, the man who spent years proving he belongs at every table, spent one night being some polite young man from Canada who liked basketball. That's not a loss. That's a flex in disguise. But sometimes rappers don't just stumble into invisibility. Sometimes they walk straight into it on purpose, just to see what the world really thinks of them. By 2014, Drake was untouchable. Started from the bottom was everywhere. He was about to host the ESP Awards on ESPN, one of the biggest platforms in American sports entertainment. But Jimmy Kimmel had a different kind of stage in mind. The bit was simple: disguise Drake in a wig and a fake beard, send him out to Hollywood Boulevard, and hand him a microphone. His mission: ask strangers what they thought of Drake. Standing right there in the open, holding the mic, asking people to roast him to his face, while none of them knew it was him. What could possibly go wrong?
Today, Drake tried his hand at a version of Live Witness News, and we disguised you. We sent Drake out on a Hollywood Boulevard to ask pedestrians what they think about Drake.
Hollywood Boulevard held absolutely nothing back. One woman was asked if Drake's ESPI's hosting was any good. And before she finished complimenting him, the disguised interviewer dropped a completely invented scandal. She swallowed it whole without blinking.
How do you feel about rapper Drake refusing to acknowledge Caucasian athletes at the ESPYs?
I think it's baloney. You know, everybody should be treated equally, and hopefully it'll probably impact his career a little bit too, you know, in a negative way.
That wasn't even the most brutal take of the day. The hits just kept coming. Then came the most devastating opinion, delivered with complete sincerity, directly to Drake's disguised face.
How do you think Drake did hosting the ESPYs last night?
I don't like Drake. I think he's an actor. He's not a real rapper.
Drake was standing right there, in his wig, in his fake beard, hearing every word of it. Then a man with a guitar decided this was the moment to improvise a live diss track on the spot.
Maybe you should try and actually play an instrument, bro.
For real.
Stop acting, you suck. That's it.
That's out of here. That's number one.
But the real moment, the one that made this clip immortal, was when Drake finally dropped the act and told one man exactly who he was, right to his face. And the response?
I am Drake.
You're Drake.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm Drake, so what I would say to myself? What would you say to yourself?
The man still didn't believe him. He wasn't scared. He wasn't starstruck. He just moved on. A global superstar standing on Hollywood Boulevard in a fake beard being told, "That's good for you." Comments still light up years later. Legend says that guy still doesn't get it. Asking people if they know who you are is one kind of humbling. But imagine someone questioning whether you even belong in the room at all. Sometimes it's not about a stranger failing to recognize your face. Sometimes it's about someone looking right through you and deciding you don't belong where you're standing. Drake has courtside seats, sold-out stadium tours, chart records that may never be broken. But this clip, this one small 8-second interaction, it found a way to humble even him. Someone at a party walked straight up, looked Drake dead in his face, and asked 4 words that have haunted comment sections ever since. "Bro, good for you," said directly to Drake, the man with a discography worth more than most people's life savings. And the internet absolutely lost its mind. Comments flooded in. The audacity. This person is going to heaven. Drake's face says it all. Whoever asked that question walked away having no idea what they just did. And that's exactly what made it so powerful. Drake took it with grace, which honestly might be the most surprising part of the whole thing. Because not every rapper keeps their cool when they realize the world has no idea who they are. Not recognizing someone within the same country is one level, but confusing them for someone else entirely? That's a whole different kind of erasure. DaBaby went from relative obscurity to Billboard #1 in what felt like the span of 6 months. Suge. Bob. Rockstar. By 2020, Jonathan Kirk, the man the streets know as DaBaby, was everywhere. He and Roddy Ricch collaborated on Rockstar, one of the biggest records of that entire year. 2 rappers with different flows, different voices, different looks, different lanes. 2 names that, for at least one extremely confident fan, were apparently completely interchangeable. Someone walked up to DaBaby. DaBaby, a man with one of the most recognizable voices, cadences, and presences in modern rap, looked him in his face, claimed to be a massive fan, and then asked him one question that ended everything.
I'm a big fan, bro. I listen to all your music.
What's your favorite song?
Watch where this goes.
You did the box, right?
Fuck you, nigga.
You did the box, right? The Box is Roddy Ricch's song, not DaBaby's. And DaBaby's reaction tells you everything about how that moment felt. The fan was absolutely convinced, fully committed, completely wrong. Now picture being DaBaby. You've had hit after hit at the top of the charts. Your flow is one of the most mimicked deliveries in a generation. And someone walks up, announces they're a huge fan, and then proves they've never once actually listened to your music. The "fuck you" wasn't just frustration. It was years of a carefully built identity being erased and replaced with the wrong name. Comments went all the way in. He thought DaBaby was Roddy. The Box. Bro really just violated him. Some fans even debated whether the person was trolling on purpose, which almost makes it worse, because whether it's genuine confusion or a deliberate play, the result is the same. Standing face to face with a rap star and getting his entire catalog wrong. In a world where everyone talks about artist identity and building a brand, this moment cuts deep. DaBaby spent years crafting something distinct, and in one chance encounter, a so-called fan reduced him to the last rap feature they happened to stream. No handlers, no PR buffer, just a man reacting to being called the wrong name in his own lane. Hip-hop doesn't forget moments like this. Mixing up two artists in America is rough, but imagine landing in a country where the entire culture has simply never heard of you. Not because they dislike you, but because the signal never crossed the ocean. Japan has its own culture, its own music scene, its own relationship with fame. And it does not owe American rap stardom a single second of its attention. 3 rappers found this out, separately, in the same country, and the internet captured every moment. Lil Pump was at the absolute height of his meme era when he landed in Tokyo. Gucci Gang had conquered social media. His face was on everything. Back home, he couldn't walk 10 feet without someone losing their mind. But out on a busy Tokyo street, nothing. Not a second glance. Not a whisper. The streets moved around him like he was any other tourist. Or, as the comments put it, like someone's confused uncle who wandered away from a group tour. The shock on his face was genuine. Nobody told Japan to ignore him. Japan just didn't know. Travis Scott is a different tier of famous. Astroworld put him in a category of his own. His concerts are cultural events. His collabs with Nike turned into sell-out pandemonium. Shoes gone in seconds. Lines wrapping around buildings in every major American city. But in Japan, people walked right past. No double takes, no murmurs. Travis Scott, the man who starts literal riots at sneaker drops in America, blending into a Tokyo sidewalk like any other person passing through. The disconnect between who he is back home and what he meant on that street was total. Then there's Tyler, the creator, and Tyler handled it in the most Tyler way possible.
Guess where I'm from. Guess where I'm from. Guess where I'm from. Not around here.
Not around here. Might be the most honest summary of what all 3 of them experienced. Japan didn't reject them. Japan simply never received the memo. And for 3 rappers who have spent years building massive devoted followings, that's a geography lesson no chart position can prepare you for. The comments became a full cultural debate. Japan has a completely different music ecosystem. American rap fame doesn't automatically travel. This is why you do international promotion tours. All valid. All points that would have been far less painful to learn in a planning meeting than in the middle of a Tokyo sidewalk. 3 rappers, 1 country, 0 recognition. Japan remained completely unbothered. America's greatest subway system had a much softer landing for one hip-hop legend. But what happened was just as unforgettable. Jay-Z is a billionaire, one of the most decorated artists in music history. A man who built an empire, from Marcy projects all the way to corporate boardrooms. From reasonable doubt to a net worth that cleared $1 billion. And in 2014, he was spotted doing something most people in his tax bracket haven't done in decades, riding the New York City subway. A camera caught the whole thing, and what unfolded was one of the quietest, most genuinely human celebrity encounters ever recorded. An elderly woman named Helen was seated nearby. No idea who Jay-Z was. None. And instead of making it awkward, Jay-Z leaned in, introduced himself, and played the whole thing completely straight.
Not very famous, you don't know me. But I'll get there someday. My name is Jay. What's your name?
Ellen, what are you doing?
Ellen.
I'll get there someday. Jay-Z said that with a straight face, heading to perform at the Barclays Center. Helen told him about her art. Jay-Z listened, nodded, and then she asked the question that confirmed she had absolutely no idea who she was sitting next to. Are you the DJ? The man with 22 Grammy nominations. The man behind some of the most studied rap verses in hip-hop history. Are you the DJ? And what did he do? He smiled, kept the conversation going. No ego, no correction, no. Do you know what I've sold?
Jay-Z.
The moment she finally put it together. Oh, you're Jay-Z. I didn't know that. You can hear genuine warmth flood through the clip. Not embarrassment, not starstruck panic. Just a woman who is now very happy she had this conversation. And Jay-Z's reaction was exactly what you'd expect from someone who never needed the recognition in the first place. This is what happens when fame meets zero ego. The New York City subway, the world's greatest equalizer, turned one of music's biggest names into just Jay from the neighborhood heading to a show. Comments still flood in years later. He could have had a motorcade and he chose the subway. This is the realest celebrity moment ever filmed. Helen's "Are you the DJ?" might be the most iconic question ever asked on public transit. Not all anonymity moments are this gentle. Some rappers go undercover on purpose, and the things people say when they think no one important is listening. Completely unfiltered. Post Malone is not exactly the easiest person to hide. The face tattoos, the chain, the whole energy. But in 2018, as part of a charity collaboration with Omaze, Post decided to test just how low-key he could go by working undercover as an employee at a record store with his own music sitting right there on the shelves. The cover, simple clothes, a name tag that said Skylar, and the sheer confidence to walk up to complete strangers and trash talk himself to their faces.
See if you can spot me. Sucks. Sucks.
Nobody spotted him, and everyone was very willing to share their opinions about his music directly to the strange employee who kept offering to discount his albums because of how bad they were. Someone called it trash. Someone else called it scum. Post Malone, standing in an apron, holding his own record, absorbing the reviews in real time.
Okay. He sucks. You know Post Malone? Trash. You don't buy this, we're trying to get rid of it because it sucks.
Post Malone.
He stayed in character, offered the album at half price because of how terrible it was. He said, a customer turned it down flat anyway. Then Post switched tactics, pulled out some lyrics he'd written and asked an unsuspecting shopper to review them. And then a customer casually mentioned their favorite song was Better Now by Post Malone, and added that people say they kind of look like him.
What do you listen to?
I like listening to Better Now by Post Malone.
Oh, that's a great song. People say I look like him a lot if you take my stuff off.
The reveal was everything. Post dropped the disguise, watched the reactions happen in real time, and one customer gave him advice that no Billboard, no Grammy nomination, and no streaming algorithm had ever prepared him for.
Yeah, right? So what do you think? It's pretty good, right?
Honestly?
Yeah.
I think you need more of Jesus.
I need Jesus. Yeah.
You need more of Jesus. Post Malone went undercover and came out spiritually advised. That's a wrap on the disguise. Post Malone isn't the only one who decided Hollywood could handle a little undercover rap royalty. Machine Gun Kelly has never been someone who blends easily into a crowd. The height, the aesthetic, the energy. He moves through a room in a way that's genuinely hard to miss. But MGK went ahead and put that theory to the test anyway, taking to Hollywood Boulevard in disguise to find out what real people actually thought of him. And the people held nothing back.
Oh, we got an accent. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from England. This is my first time in LA.
Have you seen any famous people yet?
No, unfortunately not.
How do you feel about Machine Gun Kelly?
Not a huge fan.
Me either.
MGK, pretending to be a British tourist seeing Los Angeles for the very first time, got his review. Not a huge fan. Then it escalated. Someone compared his look to Ellen DeGeneres. Someone else called his new musical direction forced. One person delivered their full 3-word summary: emo, blonde. And something they didn't quite finish.
Yeah, I think his new direction's a little forced, but
totally.
Yeah.
Do you think Machine Gun Kelly looks like Ellen
Ellen? Like,
DeGeneres?
no, I don't see it.
But then the experiment took an unexpected turn. Someone recognized him, not from his music, but from a stunt where he jumped off a roof in Venice Beach months earlier. Of everything MGK has put into the world, a rooftop jump was what cut through the noise.
Was it the mustache?
The height.
I don't know if you remember, but I'm the guy who jumped off the roof in Venice. Oh my God, you're him? Yeah.
When he finally came clean, the reactions ranged from genuine warmth to complete indifference. But MGK seemed genuinely surprised, maybe even moved, by how much love was out there mixed in with all the heat. And he had one message for the people who'd been talking noise online before he ever showed up.
Thank you so much. Came out here expecting a lot of hate, but there's a lot of love. So, f you, internet.
Going undercover is a choice. You can prepare for it, control the environment, pick your moment. But what happens when the real world doesn't wait for you to set up the bit at all? Some security guards do not care how many Nikes you've designed or how many Grammys are in your house. Travis Scott is one of the most famous people on the planet. The kind of famous where Nike calls you and asks you to redesign the Air Jordan. The kind of famous where album drops become cultural events. The kind of famous where you would absolutely think, that a security guard at a professional basketball game in Los Angeles, California, would take one look and wave him right through. That is not what happened. Travis showed up to a Lakers game, chain on, energy up, fully himself. And somewhere between the entrance and his seat, a Clippers security guard decided that Travis Scott's presence was not self-evident enough to just let slide. The cameras were already rolling.
God chain on that Jalen Hurts slip. See if you turn around and show it for y'all. Travis Scott.
What unfolded was exactly what you'd expect when someone with Travis Scott's temperament meets someone who does not appear to know or care who Travis Scott is. The energy shifted fast, and the person filming caught every second of it.
Oh, he about to squabble. Travis always on some craziness.
Travis always on some craziness, said with the calm delivery of someone who has seen this exact scenario play out before. A security guard not recognizing Travis Scott at an NBA game in Los Angeles, the entertainment capital of the world, is either the most genuine case of non-recognition in celebrity history or the single most confident power move ever pulled by a person on a venue badge. Either way, the outcome is the same. Going undercover is voluntary. Getting stopped at the door is not. But the most uncontrolled version of non-recognition, that's when it happens in front of a law enforcement officer who has other things on his mind. July 23rd, 2018, Clayton County, Georgia. Offset, 1/3 of Migos, husband to Cardi B, a man whose group had the #1 song in the country with Bad and Bougie, gets pulled over in a brand new 2014 Porsche 911. 2 days off the lot, his lawyer on FaceTime, Cardi B on another call. And when the officer asks for his ID, Offset tries the one move he figures should end this whole thing immediately.
Sir, I'm famous too, so
Okay,
I know my rights.
Okay,
I'm not
that's
gonna
fine.
give you my ID till you tell me why I'm pulled over.
I'm famous too, said to a cop who already told you on camera he has no idea who you are. You already saw where that went. And instead of regrouping, Offset's next move was to explain that the tint on a car he'd owned for 48 hours wasn't his fault, right before saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, and he want. And I said, why?
I did tell you, sir. I told you for your window tint. Can I please have your ID?
I just bought this car, bro. I didn't change my tint.
Man, I'm
Y'all
sorry.
look like y'all can shoot me.
Y'all look like y'all can shoot me. The lawyer was still on the phone, and the officer had heard enough.
You still got your lawyer on the phone?
Yeah.
All right, look, I know. I asked you earlier if there's any weapons in the car. All right, the reason I asked you that is because I smelled the odor of marijuana coming out your car. All right.
No, you don't.
What started as a window tint stop became something much more serious. The search turned up firearms, a controlled substance, and over $107,000 in cash. Offset was placed under arrest.
You are being arrested, sir. You are a convicted felon and you got 3 guns in the car. One underneath your seat. One underneath your seat. One in the fake coon shit you doing, bro.
Come to Fulton County.
The charges were eventually dropped due to a federal investigation. But the raw, unedited body cam footage became one of the most viewed examples of what happens when celebrity meets an authority figure who genuinely does not care who you claim to be. The irony is complete. Offset's whole identity, in music, in culture, in the way Migos talked about themselves, was built on being recognized. The flashy car, the famous wife, the biggest record of the year, and in Clayton County, Georgia, on a Tuesday in July, none of it meant a single thing. You can sell out arenas, top every chart, marry one of the most famous women on earth, and still get pulled over by someone who has never once pressed play. Fame is a costume, and sometimes the world just doesn't recognize the face underneath it.